And we're back again. Again, stick around. Vance Payne's coming up. You want to hear about the fire at U.S. Ecology, what the real story was, and my gratitude to him and his whole crews and all of the volunteer fire departments. Dave Fanny, who oversees Public Works, and Tim Carlo in the road department, and Sheriff Worley. You're going to hear about what a great job they did. But now we're going to continue with the groundwater management plan. State engineer looked like we were going to get close to over pumping our annual recharge and said that we should have a plan. And so we sat a committee, the Board of County Commissioners, sat a committee to look into it. What can we do to help bring it into balance? There's 60,000 acre paper water rights out there. Recharge is 20. We need to do something to bring that number down. And if we take their rights and their property, they would like to see us curtail future well owners. Future well owners. Nothing to do with current well owners. And when we mention that, they always go, well, it's not in the plan for now. Right. And if it wasn't a future plan, we would have hearings here at the Calvetta Eye and in Tonopah. But mostly here, we have them here because it affects this basin. The Nye County Water District affects the entire county, gives us a seat at the table to help fight against Las Vegas drawing our water or anybody else drawing the water out of the county. It gives us a seat at the table with the state engineer to have a water district governing board, and that's why we have one. It was set up by NRS. We're going to talk more about that in a minute, but I think this clip is important because they do mention this a couple times, but let's play this clip so we see what's important.
How does the average Joe, how does the average well owner in the Nye County, or someone that wants to be a well owner, or someone that's friends or a relative of a well owner, how do they get involved to have their voice heard rather than just take it, laying down?
Okay, well, that's one of the, we mentioned the Prompt Well Owners Association that we've had formed.
Prompt Well Owners Association, which is called the Private Well Owners Association now, it's changed names, I don't know why. There are some good people in that. I am not disparaging the people in the group. I'm not disparaging or saying they don't have the right to form a group. Please, form a group. I was a member of a Nye County Well Owners Association when I first moved here in 05, or I was here in 04, but 05, 06, somewhere in there I joined that group. And they gave me information on how to keep my well clean and keep my contacts clean and all, and that was good. This group is, it's already filed lawsuits. They contend that they own the water under the ground, which is going to, again, prove to be fruitless. But that's the real important thing. This group, and they mention it a couple of times in that show. Kenny Bent put out a Facebook page when he had everybody, over 300 people came to a meeting and mad because we were going to cap their wells, which nothing in here to capture wells. Nothing in here touches current well owners, nor would it, because the 5 of us are well owners. And who's looking out for you? Well, the people you elected. And there's an election coming up next year. If you think those people didn't look out for you, vote somebody else in. Please, vote me out if you don't think I'm doing the right thing. This is not the end-all be-all of my life. If you think I'm not doing the job, vote me out. Replace me with somebody you think is going to do the job. I do have a vested interest. I have children 3 children who own homes here, all homeowners, property owners. Oh, by the way, 2 of them have private wells, and 4 grandchildren. So I have a real vested interest to see that we do something to protect all of our rights, not just a few. They continue to talk about special interest groups. That's what this group ends up being, a special interest group. These same guys rail against a $5 a parcel fee that you pay if you're in this county, and that $5 parcel fee funds the Nye County Water District Governing Board. $5 a year. They want you to join the Nye County Well Owners Association, or Private Well Owners Co-op, whatever they're called now, at $5 a month, $60 a year. So $5 a year is too much to actually support a body appointed by your elected officials to protect you from other people taking your water, but $60 a year, that's fine. I don't get the math. I don't get the math in a lot of this. We have an issue. We need to be careful moving forward. We can't do what's been done in the past by other boards that have cut up the valley without concerned to water, and our current board has been. We put in a moratorium on parceling down to certain levels. We put in a resolution that'll soon be an ordinance that says if you're going to come with a new business or whatever and you're going to use 1 acre-foot of water, you have to buy 3 acre-feet and retire the other 2, because we need to bring that number down. Because right now we're working at a 20,000 acre recharge. Again, that number doesn't count what goes back in through rapid infiltration or from ponds after the water's been treated. That could be 40% more. It could be more than that. We don't know. But we'll go the low end of these things. So should you all come down with your pitchforks and tell us we're going to cap your wells? If you want to, that's your right. Feel free. Come in and yell at us. If you want to help us and yourselves and the future generations that will live here, we hope future generations live here, then come and tell us what's good about the plan, tell us what's bad about the plan, but please read the plan first. Do not take what you hear on this show, on that other show, or that you hear on a Facebook post as fact. Read the plan yourself. There's things in here I don't like. There's things in here I think that are good, that could work. But again, 5 well owners that you elected will represent you and your well rights against any intrusion. If you want to, join a group. Join any group you want. Join the Sierra Club. Join whatever you want to join. I am not disparaging the group. I'm not disparaging their rights to do so. But for these gentlemen to continue to tell you no one's looking out for you except them just rubs me the wrong way. And that's why I felt I had to do this show and tell you in their own words what it is they were telling you in that show. And, you know, I had another 5 clips I could do here that I could show, but hopefully I've shown you enough that you see that not everything that was being said was actually bounded by fact. A lot of it is conjecture. A lot of it is it's not in the plan for now. And we know how government is. I do. I don't trust the federal government. I trust my congressman, Crescent Hardy, of course. You know, most people, if they know them, you know, got to know them, got to talk to them, and I did, and I have. I trust my board, even though I'm always on the winning side of those arguments. The county's just dying to get in the utility business. Well, the board voted it down twice. So how are we still just dying to get in the utility business? I think it would be beneficial to us if we were, if the people owned it, i.e. the county. You know, we can separate that and mince words all we want and say, well, the people, oh, yeah, the people do in a republic through their representatives. We have people who want to destroy the republic. We have people who can constantly call it a democracy, constantly say we're not listening to the will of the people. We, as a board, get tons of emails and phone calls. We can't go to the grocery store without being stopped and talked to. And that's part of the job. I'm not complaining about it. I love it. I want to hear other people's points of view. I like to hear fact. I hate to hear conjecture, rumor mongering, and fear and loathing. And that's what this comes down to, fear and loathing. There's only enough water for 27,000 people. Okay, who's moving out? We got about 38 now. And by the way, we're not drawing down. We're not close to the recharge number. Keep in mind, in the late 60s through the 70s, they pumped 40 to 50,000 acre-feet of water a year out of this valley. Yes, we had some subsidence. Yes, there were issues. But guess what? It didn't dry up and go away. With that much water being pumped out, now we're pumping about 14,000 acre-feet. We're still good. And the plan does have an appendix, and it shows you facts and figures. And one of them in the back shows that with a 20,000 recharge, about 80,000 people could live in this valley. With the subdivisions we already have approved, the rest of Mountain Falls build-out, Pleasant Valley, Beezer, America West, all of those that are on the south side, by the way, in my district, would bring us to that number. So going forward, the Board of County Commissioners needs to be very circumspect in any new businesses come in here. There was a disagreement, if you watch that whole show, between whether there should be a moratorium or shouldn't be a moratorium. At least Kenny Bent and I agree there can't be a moratorium, because then we're taking away other people's rights. If you have an aunt or uncle who bought property here 20 years ago, now they're ready to come out and build, and we tell them, no, you can't build. Now we've taken their rights away. So it's not always about my rights, as Mr. Lilly continued to talk about. It's his water that we're taking. There's more than just me in this valley. There's more than just him in this valley. There's a lot of different people who all have certain rights. But you know what? With rights come responsibilities. And that's kind of what this plan shows. It shows that there needs to be a responsibility by some of us. Most of us do this. We have low flow heads and low whatever, and we don't grow acres of grass just because we can have a football field. We are pretty good with it. We know that we live in a desert. Interesting thing to consider, 1 acre of property, like the Artesia subdivision, there's 3 homes per acre, uses about less than an acre foot of water a year. Call it an acre foot, they use an acre foot. When we were farming, that same acre would take 5 acre feet of water. So if you think that the subdivisions, those are the ones who've drawn down the water and those are the evil guys and that's why we need, no, more water was used before. You actually use less when you're on a municipal system and when you're in a subdivision by that. I didn't buy in a subdivision like that. I moved to the far end of the valley, far away. Nobody's going to cap my well. There's no provision for it. Even if there's water line in front of your house, your well has to fail before you have to hook up. Completely fail where you have to bring a drill rig. Nobody's talking about doing that. Nobody's talking about cutting current well owners. Nobody except these guys who think it's a good idea to join an association for $60 a year, and they're mad about $5 a year to the water district.